Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to discuss affirmative action for women in India. Why do we need affirmative action for women in India? We can explain this by looking at some of the data that is available. If we look at the sex ratio in the country, we see that there has been very minimal improvement in the ratio from 941 women per thousand men in 1960 to 943 per thousand in 2011. What is more alarming is the sharp decline in the child sex ratio, that is 0 to 6 years of age. It is 960 in 1960, that is it was 960 in 1960 to 1919 in 2011. The decline is very much rapid and it is also a matter of concern. This indicates that there are several thousands of girl children who are missing either due to female feticide or high mortality. And this is an outcome of neglect and malnutrition within the society. The female literacy rate according to the 2011 census is 64.6%, whereas the male literacy rate is over 80%, which again reveals a clear gender gap. Anemia continues to be high among women in the age group of 15 to 49 years, and it remains at 53% according to the NFHS4 data. Keeping all this data in mind, let us look at what the international conventions talk about in terms of women's equality. The platform for action adopted at BJ conference mandates affirmative action and calls for legislative and administrative reforms to give women full and equal access to economic resources. Now, while it has been recognized internationally, it has also been recognized that political empowerment becomes especially important to facilitate economic betterment in the context of the country's new economic policy, which was adopted somewhere in 1980s, of liberalization that has in the last 10 years caused a great deal of increase in feminization of poverty. Though the country registered significant gains in terms of conventional economic indices, that is industrial growth, agricultural betterment, external trade, investment inflows, women have not shared equitably in these overall gains. Women of the unorganized sector, which accounts for 94% of the overall female workforce, have been marginalized by the forces of liberalization and globalization and by cuts in state allocation for social sector, that is health, education and water, which has been pushed through a privatization process and privatization policies. Now, within this context, what are the guarantees or affirmative actions that are available to women? If we look at the Indian Constitution, Article 15 says that it prohibits discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, sex, caste, place of birth, or any of them. It also ensures and empowers the state to promote special provisions for children, women, and socially and educationally backward classes, and includes the SCs and STs. It also prohibits untouchability. With the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, there is reservation of seats in the local governments for not just Dalits and Adivasis, but also for women, along with greater devolution of political power to the local governments. It is hoped that this kind of devolution of political power will lead to greater empowerment of women and better access to all the social sector basic services that are required for women to become more equal in this country. Another very important and significant legislation which emanated out of the 1997 Vishaka case, wherein Supreme Court held that sexual harassment in the workplace violated women's rights to equality, is the 2013 Act, which says that sexual harassment will be prevented, prohibited, and there will be a mechanism to redress any form of sexual harassment, which will then ensure that women participate effectively in all kinds of workplaces, not just in the organized sector, but also in the unorganized sector. So we've moved quite a bit in terms of ensuring women's equality in all spheres, social, economic and political. What is important for us to work at and examine social policy is from this lens to see how far we are able to achieve gender equality through equitable processes within our country. Thank you.